In 1996, in San Javier, Mexico, a group of researchers were seen searching for a mythological creature called the Chupacabra that was rumored to live in a mine. After searching for a long time, one of them finally found a clue, the fur of this Chupacabra, and was immediately given to Professor Richard Quinn as the research leader. After all this time being considered crazy for believing in the existence of these mythological creatures, Professor Quinn was delighted because now he could prove to people that his research was not just nonsense. When Quinn and his research group were about to bring the creature, suddenly, the Chupacabra attacked them. In this escape action, the mother of Chupacabra suffered severe injuries due to the fire bullets fired by Quinn. Because she did not want her cub harmed, the mother tried to endure the pain and flew out of the cave to find a safe place. In this escape, the mother was confused about where else to run. Besides, the researchers still pursuing the mother could not fly far because her wings were injured badly. As a result, to protect her child from evil humans, the mother told her cub to leave while she would lure the pursuing scientists away. The next day, the news about the existence of Chupacabra, one of the farmers, broke out. The media informed the public that this mythological creature was known to live and hide in the American region. This animal was also suspected to be savage because it liked to suck blood, especially animal blood. The proof was dozens of goats belonging to the farmer who died mysteriously. The scene moved to Alex, a 13-year-old boy enjoying his break by playing a Game Boy. Alex looked alone because he was a boy who often got bullied by his friends. Alex was a pretty boy and liked to bring strange things like Spanish food made by his mother. After Alex returned home, his annoyance at being bullied was still felt, especially when he saw his mother making lunch where the food was Spanish. According to his friends, the food was strange. Following the death of his father Beto from cancer, Alex flew to Mexico to meet his extended family for the first time, a trip his father had planned for them both. Alex would travel to Mexico, where his grandfather, Chava, lived for a summer vacation. However, a few months ago, his father died from cancer and Alex had to do it alone. Alex arrived at his grandfather's house in Mexico, and for the first time, Alex met his cousin Memo. Memo would be staying at home for the holidays. Memo didn't speak English, but Grandpa was pleased because it was the perfect time for Alex to learn his Spanish again. Inside home, Alex saw his grandfather's memories displayed on the walls. Uniquely, many of the items were chosen by Chava when he was a lucha libre athlete, and that made Alex confused because he didn't know that Chava was a former champion. Because Alex was tired after traveling far, Alex rushed to rest in the room provided, a room full of used items and dusty because it was never used. When he arrived in the room, Alex, who was going to clean up, suddenly heard someone singing. This, after being seen, turned out to be Luna, Memo's sister. On his first day of holiday, Alex, who had just finished tidying up his things, intended to go out and enjoy the view. When he was getting off the stairs, Memo suddenly ambushed him from behind. Seeing Alex panicking because he didn't know what Memo was doing, Luna finally told him by showing him a video recording. From the video, Luna explained that what Memo was doing was a lucha libre sport of wrestling flavored by the Mexican people, and the athlete competing in the video was their grandfather, Chava. From the video, Alex also told Alex that another athlete named Chacal didn't like Grandpa. Even because of his dislike, Chacal had deliberately thrown Chava from the ring, causing Chava's skull to crack and coma for almost a month. Therefore, Grandfather could not continue his profession as a wrestler because, after the accident, he suffered a severe illness. While the children were busy watching the video, the TV suddenly turned off before the tape ran out. It turned out that Chava didn't want Alex to see him injured in the video and tried to distract the children by inviting them to eat together. That day, Chava offered them to eat goat meat, but at the same time, it turned out that Chava just realized that one of his goats was dead. Remembering the news about the Chupacabra 3 days ago, Luna and Memo were convinced that this could be the work of the animal that liked to suck the goat's blood. Unfortunately, Chava didn't believe it. He said the Chupacabra was nonsense because it was just a mythological creature. Meanwhile, it turned out that Quinn and her team continued research on the Chupacabra even though they failed to capture them. One day, when Quinn was collecting the data he got, suddenly a helicopter came to the location. Then someone in the plane arbitrarily entered Quinn's van. It turned out that he was an investor who had funded all of his research, Robert. As Robert had waited too long and the money spent was very much, he deliberately came to see if the hard work of Quinn had paid off or not. Worried that his research would be stopped, Quinn immediately showed the Chupacabra fur he found as evidence. Robert relented and gave Quinn one more week. In the evening, Alex was confused when he saw his grandfather go to the goat pen alone while playing with his mobile phone. Out of curiosity, Alex followed him and found that Chava was sitting listening to music. At the same time, suddenly, there was a suspicious sound from behind the bushes. Because of fear that it was a Chupacabra, Alex shouted and made Chava, Luna, and Memo come looking for him. But it turned out that only a rabbit came out. Seeing this, Luna and Memo, of course, laughed. At the same time, Chava was silent and invited Alex in because he saw Alex's hand was injured. The next day, when Alex woke up, he was shocked to see a strange animal in front of him. It turned out to be a young Chupacabra cub. It licked the wound on Alex's hand and immediately left because it was also surprised. Strangely, after the injury was licked magically, his face healed instantly. However, because he didn't want to be laughed at again, Alex kept quiet and did not tell anyone. Alex was still curious about where the animal had gone. He immediately looked out the window, but apparently Luna was already there. Surprisingly, Luna didn't see anything that went into Alex's room. So instead of Luna wondering further, Alex approached Luna to play firecrackers together. They were busy playing firecrackers when suddenly Memo came and told them that Chava had disappeared again. So, due to a brain injury suffered in the past, it turned out that Chava had Alzheimer's disease. A short time later, Luna drove Memo and Alex into town to search for Chava. Alex told Luna to contact their mom. Still, Luna refused because if she did, their mom would immediately move him to the nursing home, so it was better for them to search even though they didn't know where to go. They first went to the market because Chava used to go there often. In the market, Alex accidentally met a miniature colorful figure seller, and the miniature that interested him was a miniature dog with wings. The seller then said that this miniature was a Chupacabra. People believed this mythological animal was a monster, even though, according to him, the Chupacabra was not as bad as they think. Then Alex and the others continued their search. They did not find their grandfather in the market, so the three of them left and would look for it elsewhere. In their second search, they found the grandfather walking with a billy goat. When asked why the grandfather was on the side of the road, he replied that he just wanted to take a walk. He also bought a new goat to replace his goat that had died yesterday. Then, because there was nothing to worry about anymore, they immediately got into the car to go home. On the way, their vehicle was stopped because some people were doing research. They were a team of researchers from Quinn who had yet to give up looking for Chupacabra. Then, right after they passed the researchers, Alex, Luna, and their grandfather immediately watched TV and got more information about the existence of Chupacabra, which had been very disturbing to the breeders. But when Alex was horrified by the presence of the animal, Chava suddenly turned off the TV while saying that the Chupacabra was just a myth, just nonsense. So instead of them thinking about something unimportant like that, Chava told Alex and Luna to play with Memo. Instead of believing him, Alex was suspicious of Chava was hiding something since he had been listening to the music box alone in the stable. Alex assumed that the grandfather was summoning something he was hiding, which was none other than a Chupacabra. Unfortunately, Luna didn't believe Alex's words. Still, since Alex was sure his assumption was correct, he played the music box alone in the barn while enjoying the afternoon view. It turned out that what she was waiting for came, too, and in fact, Chava used the music brain to summon the Chupacabra cup that he had been hiding. Seeing the mythological animal actually in front of him, Alex was shocked and a little scared. But when he realized the Chupacabra cub was starving, Alex returned to the house to get a plate of sausages his grandfather chose to give to Chupacabra. Unfortunately, the cub didn't like the food. Instead, it decided to use mice for food. Since that night, the closeness between the cub and Alex was established. Seeing the Chupacabra cub frightened because he heard the sound of lightning, Alex swiftly calmed him and promised to protect it whatever the situation. Alex named the Chupacabra cub as Chupa. The morning came and Memo woke Alex up because she knew Alex didn't come home last night. At the same time, suddenly, there was a suspicious sound because he was afraid that the sound was from a wild animal that had secretly entered their grandfather's land. Memo went down to check it out. It turned out to be the work of Chupa. At first, Alex had tried to distract Memo so that he wouldn't see it, but suddenly, Chupa fell in front of them. After being explained, fortunately, Memo believed that Chupa was a good animal, as well as Luna, who suddenly came. At first, Luna screamed in fear, but Alex tried to calm her down by saying that this animal was still a baby, and he was sure that it was not a dangerous animal. Alex and Luna were still arguing in a few moments because Chupacabra was a wild animal. According to her, Luna asked that they just release it, but Alex refused because this hickey was still a baby and could not fly, so they had to take care of it. It turned out that their grandfather agreed with this opinion. Alex's guess about Chava hiding Chupacabra was correct. So the story was like this: when Quinn chased Chupa and his mother, it accidentally that Chava's car crashed into them. After that incident, Chupa was suddenly near his house. Because he didn't want the little Chupacabra to be caught and exploited by the researchers, Chava deliberately hid it in a cage. Then, the reason Chava often left the house without telling was not that he always experienced Alzheimer's. Still, he wanted to find the mother of Chupacabra by fishing it using a goat. Returning to the house, Quinn and his team suddenly came to their house. It turned out that they suspected that Chava's car had hit the Chupacabra passing around the desert. And because he suspected that Grandpa had hidden something in his house, Quinn intended to search on behalf of the American government. Of course, Chava immediately refused. He said there were only farm animals in his place, so he told Quinn to leave, or he would show his lucha libre skills to drive them away by force. After Quinn left, Alex returned to see Chupa to listen to music together. But soon Memo came and invited Chupa to practice flying. Encouraging it to follow, Chupa got the wings to work a bit before also falling into the hay. The exercise was carried out so that if Quinn came to catch Chupa back, Chupa could use his wings to escape. On the other hand, Alex and Chava chose to watch lucha libre. Chava revealed that Beto was the fighter, but never became professional because he met Alex's mother and moved to the States. Unexpectedly, the attack from Alex was enough to make Chava's body crumple as a result. They also had to call a doctor so that Chava immediately got treatment. When the doctor was explaining the current state of Chava, Chupa suddenly just shouted so that the doctor would not be suspicious. The three of them tried to divert attention, saying that the sound came from Chava's cow. After the doctor left, they ran to the cage to find out why Chupa suddenly shouted, and it turned out that it was the work of Quinn, who secretly sneaked into the enclosure. Alex and the others could not do anything because the Quinn brought a stunning shot. As a result, Chupa was captured and would be taken away from there. Not wanting to stay silent, Alex immediately woke the Chava to stop Quinn. Still, unfortunately, the grandfather's forgetfulness suddenly relapsed and made the grandfather forget about Chupa and Alex, his grandson. But because he didn't want just to absorb it, Alex was desperate to lie to his grandfather by saying that his enemy, namely Chackle, was at home and this was the right time for revenge. Successfully attacking Quinn, grandfather and others stole Quinn's car with incense already in it. Here, they planned to return Chupa to its family. Still, when they stopped at the location where Chava bumped into Chupa that night, unfortunately, Chava couldn't remember anything because of his forgetfulness. Amid the confusion, Chupa suddenly remembered something, and it turned out that she remembered the road to where it lived. But because the location had to pass through a rusty and fragile iron bridge, Alex could not come and was forced to say goodbye because they had to separate. After saying goodbye to Chupa, Alex hurried to go home, but just turned around suddenly he saw a lion appear before him. The hungry lion kept coming at Alex, forcing him to climb onto the fragile bridge. Luckily, Luna, Chava, and Memo came to help. Seeing Alex about to fall with all his strength, Chupa tried to pull Alex, but because it was also a cub, Chupa was no longer strong enough to hold on, and finally, both of them fell. Chava was shocked because he thought Alex and Chupa would not survive. Apparently, Chupa managed to flap his wings and save Alex's life. Seeing that his grandchildren were fine, Chava immediately thanked Chupa. Because its job was finished, Chupa would return to show his journey home. Just now, Chupa was about to fly, Quinn was still chasing Chupa. He made the animal faint and threatened to use electric shock if Alex tried to stop him again. Not wanting his grandchildren to get hurt, Chava chose to retreat and let Chupa be caught, but when Quinn left with Chupa, Chupa's mother was chasing with her flock. Seeing that Quinn had been cornered, Chava immediately ambushed the man from behind, and using his skills as an athlete, Chava managed to release Chupa and teach the researchers a lesson. After all the obstacles had been overcome, Chupa finally could return to his family. Unfortunately, the summer holiday was over, and Alex must return to Kansas immediately. Then, as a souvenir, Luna gave her a Mexican music recording so Alex could listen to it on the plane. At the same time, Memo invited Alex to wrestle as a farewell. Arriving at the airport, Chava said goodbye to Alex. He also gave a little message to Alex because now his brain was not like it used to be, often forgetting. Chava told Alex never to forget all his memories in Mexico these days, and if someday Chava was hard to remember, Alex should always tell him. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next video.